Okay, hi. I am Jennifer Anderson, Superstar Director of Radiant Rockstars, and it's Tuesday night, ROCKSTAR RALLY night, my favorite night of the week. We get to spend it with all of you. So, welcome. Tonight we're talking about recruiting, everyone's number one most requested topic, no matter what. Anytime we ask what you want to learn about, the number one thing we get back is recruiting, 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 recruiting. So I feel like we can never talk about it too much. Maybe you just might be in a space sometime in your business where you hear one thing the right way, or someone says something at a time that you need it. And so I'm really excited. Tonight we're going to learn from superstar director extraordinaire Andrea Kuehn, who is an annual mentor award earner, which is very prestigious, you guys. Just so you know, annual mentor, there's like 30 people a year who earn it in the entire company. It's a very, very prestigious award. More people could earn it, but people are just afraid. So Andrea is not afraid. So I love learning that about her. She is the superstar director of Sensational Bosses. She is incredible. And this woman gives no excuses. I mean, if you knew her life, okay? No excuses. So I'm excited to learn from Andrea tonight. I know you guys are too. So take it away, darling.
Well, hello and good evening. And geez, I don't even have to introduce myself with an introduction like that. I am almost nervous to hear myself talk now. Okay, so I want to talk about recruiting tonight because we can always talk about recruiting. Now you are going to want me to tell you the magical script, right? You want me to tell you, what do I say? How do I, on average, recruit 30 people plus a year? The secret is there's no secret. You just had to ask and be told no. It is a lifestyle. It's not something you do sometimes. It's not something you do on your checklist. It's not, a task that you do a certain day of the week. It is something that you constantly live. So actually, I was kind of unsure how to talk about this today. And this is what was requested by my team and by everybody's team. Like, what do you want to hear for trainings? I can give you anything. I can teach you about anything. Recruiting. That is always the number one asked thing. And I was like, so what am I supposed to say? And Jennifer was like, well, why don't you give your top 3 tips? And I'm like, I don't really have top 3 tips because it's not really something that you can just do or you can't do. It's just you have to constantly live it. So I was a little discouraged and I was like, I do it all the time, but I don't really know how to train about it. So I don't know if you believe or not, but I read the Bible. Did my Bible study right after this, and we were talking about the fruits of the Spirit. And there was a side note in there about how a lot of people say they're a Christian. They have a Christian bumper sticker, and then they will cut a car off, or they, will flip somebody off driving. And it's like, okay, so you're telling people you're a Christian, you're talking the talk, but are you walking the walk? And the same thing with Scentsy consultants. You can't just recruit once a month. You can't just be like, it's Friday, it's my recruiting day, I'm going to ask 10 people to join today, and then 10 people are going to join. It's something you have to live and breathe. Like, are you an apple tree? How do you know an apple tree is an apple tree? It produces apples. So are you producing apples, or are you just screaming, hey, I'm an apple tree, and not producing any fruit? You can walk around with the Scentsy gear on, but are you living the Scentsy life? You can put on your Facebook page that you're an independent consultant, but are you sharing your journey? Are you sharing Scentsy? Are you sharing how it fits in your life? Or are you sharing someone else's journey? Are you sharing somebody else's accomplishments? Are you comparing yourself to somebody else? Are you trying to recruit like I recruit? Are you trying to, did you watch a training and somebody recruited by saying this, so you go and tell 10 people this? Are you walking the walk or just talking the talk? And it used to be for me where it was a check mark. Like it's literally in my planner where on Fridays, I focus on recruiting. And that is a very good thing to do. I'm not saying to not do that, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't look for the opportunity every single day. If somebody comes up to you and goes, oh my gosh, you sell Scentsy? Your house must smell amazing. I love Scentsy. Yeah, have you ever thought about making money with it? And so then I did my notebook today. I did my recruiting notebook because I didn't do it on Friday because I was scared to. Because even as a superstar director who has over 100 frontline, who has recruited probably 150 people, I get intimidated by recruiting. Why? Because I make up 100 different things on why the person doesn't want to join, on why they are too good for Scentsy, on why I wouldn't be a good enough mentor to them, on why they don't want to do direct sales, and instead of just doing it. So today I did my follow-up with 4 people that actually came to me and they wanted to join me. Like they brought it up. And so it's been a while. We talked about this in like November. Now I do know these things because I have it down in a notebook. So I wanted to take the easy way out today. And I'm going to just follow up the people that have asked me. So there's no pressure. So I message all 4 of these people and I say, hey, I don't know if you are still interested. I know we talked about joining before. I just want to let you know that we got a new kit right now. So I wanted to see if it's still something that you've been thinking about. Well, 2 left me unread. 1 told me the craziest excuse about how she still hasn't talked to her husband and she talked to me about joining in September. Okay. So I let that one go. And then I had 1 other person that left me unread and I was like, wow, thanks. So I moved on. And then later that day, she actually messaged me back and she said no. And she thanked me for reaching out to her though. And she wanted to make sure that even though she does not feel that Scentsy is the right choice for her, she wants to stay in contact with me though, because she appreciates me sticking to following up with her and giving her the information. So I got told no 4 times today. Actually, I got ghosted and then I had someone just pretty much lie to me. And guess what, guys? That's going to happen all the time. But look at all the reasons why you're telling yourself you're not going to ask somebody because of the fears we have that they're going to say this or they're going to say that. The worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say no. But if I wouldn't have followed up with those 4 no's today, they would have still been a no. And I also would have wondered, what if? What if? I would have been wondering, were they going to say yes? The one lady actually is in another direct sales business and she's like a pretty big leader in there. So she decided that she doesn't want to mix the 2. She's going to write out the problem she's having in her business. But what if I wouldn't have asked her, then I would have always been sitting there saying, who could she have been if I would have asked? Maybe she joined something else that she's more passionate about. And I would have been saying, wow, I bet she would have joined me, but I was too scared to ask her. I have people that would have been amazing Scentsy consultants, amazing, but their husbands made really good money. They were a stay-at-home mom and their husbands made a bunch of money. So why the heck would I bother them with direct sales? And then guess what? It would have hurt to hear no, might have, hurt my ego for a second, but you know what really hurts? When they join another company and then they freaking rock it. And that they're like not even into that. But you know that they love Scentsy. and you realize that that person could have been a director. That could have been a superstar director under you. Now they're a director selling something that they don't even fully believe in. That hurts a heck of a lot more than hearing the word no. And to hear the word yes, you're going to have to hear no over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm going to take this thing out of it. When somebody tells you no, they're just not interested in what you have. That is like getting offended if you offered somebody Blue Grotto and they said no because they don't like citrus. Are you going to be mad that they chose a different scent because they hate the smell of citrus? No, you wouldn't be offended by that. So if somebody says no to you, why are you taking offense to that? It's not the right time. It's just not right for them. Frankly, if you got to beg someone to join, you're going to have to beg them to work. So why are you putting yourself through that? If somebody doesn't want it, that's okay. But don't wonder if it's right for them. A lot of these people that you see that you're intimidated to ask, those are exactly who you need to ask. Those people that you think are too busy are exactly who you need to ask. There's two things. One, they could be less busy if they had another flow of income or whatever it might be. Or two, they know how to do busy. They're not a slacker. They know if something's important, they will do it. If somebody wants to be in shape, it doesn't matter. I know people that work 70 hours a week and go to the gym for 2 hours a night. If it's something that's important to you, you're going to do it. It's obviously not important to me to go to the gym, but there's people out there that do a heck of a lot more than me, and they're in the gym every night. They have self-control. They're not going to Chick-fil-A. They're eating a salad, even if they have to go home and cut up a head of lettuce. If you want something, you will do it. So don't be sitting there prejudging somebody. Like, how dare you take something away from somebody that could change their life, change the future for their family, could change their financial situation, could change their anxiety, their depression, could give them friendships, could give them life value. How is it your decision to prejudge them because they already have a successful career? They don't need the money. Yeah, a lot of people don't care about the money. I did. I joined to make money because I was using a calculator to buy my groceries and putting things back. So yes, there's people out there that need that financial blessing. And I didn't tell people about that. Nobody knew how hard we were struggling. And I was going to school to be a nurse. I'm finishing my nursing degree. So don't be, like, oh, she's going to have a career. There's people, I'm reading a book right now about a woman who was a lawyer, and a really, really good one. And she gave up her lawyer career for direct sales. And she's now a multi-million-dollar earner in direct sales. And like all her partners are also on her team now because they loved their career. They went to school for that, and then something changed. And they're not going to publicly say, I can't stand working 60 hours a week, but they wanted to be home with their kids or whatever else. Some people join Scentsy so they can get away from their kids, so they could go and have something that's for them. So do not prejudge somebody and their destiny. So take that out there right now, because you're going to take somebody and you're going to make a dream list like I did. And there's going to be people on there that would be amazing at this, but you're too scared to ask them. The first thing you need to do is you need to go ask those 20 people. That's what you need to do, because they need to be on your team. Or you need to at least ask them before I do, or before somebody else does, or before they're selling some weight loss shakes, because it's going to happen. And then you have to say, darn it, I could have been told no, but instead I just stayed comfortable. And I'm going to honestly tell you, the hardest thing that's going to happen is you're going to be told no, and then they're going to forget about it in 30 seconds. They're not even going to tell their husband about it. They're not even going to tell their sister about it. Nobody's going to know you even asked them. They're going to be like, thanks for thinking of me. I'm not interested right now. And then they're going to move along their day. They know that's what you do. Like whatever scenarios you're making up in your head, they don't think that. But like I said, they might say yes. Or they might be like, you know what? I am not interested in doing that, but I love the products, but you know what my sister is. And then you get introduced to a whole new person. One of my really good recruits from November, her daughter was a Facebook friend of mine. She had never even bought from me. And she's like, hey, can I add my mom to a message on Messenger and do a group chat? I'm like, okay, that's random. And then she's like, hi, Andrea, I'm looking for a Scentsy consultant. And I don't know any in my area that are serious. I've been doing this for almost 5 years and she wasn't even a customer. You never know. And that's another thing with living the lifestyle is every single day you need to walk the walk. You can't just post a really good post on Monday. At the beginning of January, you're pumped, you're excited. You want to get paid at title this month. You want a promotion. You have all these goals. And then mid-month, your kid gets sick and you're like, I'm done. So you quit posting, you start just posting about life, or you just disappear off the face of the earth for a week. Well, all those people that you talked to at the beginning of January, all those people that saw that post and you got those seeds planted in their head, they're now watching you, even if they said not right now. And when they see that you just disappear, that's what made their decision. Or they see, you know what, this person gave me the idea that I would be capable of having a Scentsy business. So now I'm going to search through the rest of my Facebook friends and find somebody that's really good at Scentsy. And no one knows if you're really good. You don't have to be a top leader to recruit. I started recruiting the first month I joined. They saw I was excited. They saw that I was consistent. They saw that I was walking the walk. They saw that I was passionate about the products. I couldn't even afford wax. I couldn't afford wax. I put that $99 kit on my credit card and I had to do everything in my power to hurry up and make that $99 back so we could pay that credit card off. Because that was space that we could put food on if my check was short. If my husband's check was short. I wasn't even working at that time. So people knew that I was in it. You don't have to go on a life-changing trip. You don't have to win prestigious awards. Honestly, if anything, that might be a little intimidating to some people. But people see that you can make a $60 paycheck and pay for your coffee trip or go get a pedicure and talk about it. About how, I have spending money now to go get a pedicure. This is something that as a single mom, I haven't been able to do. That's life-changing for somebody. That's relatable. That is realistic. So stop waiting. Stop waiting till you know everything, because guess what? You don't know everything. I don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. You're never going to know everything. You're never. The sooner you recruit, the better. Learn together. They know you're new. There is still times I ask for help. I have to look. Anything I know, it's because I learned along the way, probably because I messed something up. Probably because I've gotten a compliance email before, because I have goofed up. I am not perfect. Nobody is. It's about being consistent and consistently looking to how you could spread the message, being authentically you, show how the products fit in your life, show how you're using the products, and show how the journey fits in your life and how the journey works for you. Show, I took a Snapchat, like if you go to my Instagram, not Snapchat, the story things on Instagram, all of my stories are me doing Scentsy things, like me making samples with my son, who in turn sticks all of my pens inside of the melted wax. or it shows me, I almost got blocked from Facebook today because I took a picture of some Happy Meal I was sending out and they thought it was gun related. I don't know, but that's not the club I was talking about. I was talking about Scentsy Club, but I just share things that I'm doing. And I have kids that go to school across town, and I have to go across town and pick them up from school. And then after I picked them up, you could see my car load of kids and me sitting there at the post office sticking these things in the basket. And I'm like, yay, here's some Happy Meal if you ordered a Scentsy Club last month. Like, it's showing how I take care of my customers. It's showing how it fits in my life, that I am not sitting here at a desk, you know, for 8 hours a day working. Absolutely not. There's no way I could do that with pregnant with my 5th child. But I just share every single day who I am and how Scentsy is just a part of me. Like, I'm Andrea. I'm not Scentsy. I'm Andrea. I love my hobby farm. I love my chickens. I have a ton of kids. I'm always freaking pregnant. This is my 3rd pregnancy since I joined Scentsy 4.5 years ago. So don't tell me that you're too pregnant, you're too sick, you're too busy to run your Scentsy business. Because I earned annual mentor the month I had an emergency C-section. You can do hard things. It's all about the lifestyle of consistently showing up. And while you're just sitting there sharing your authentic journey and how Scentsy is a part of you, like Scentsy is a part of me, like my chickens are a part of me, like my kids are a part of me. It's just a piece of me. I'm not Scentsy. I'm not handing out flyers. I'm not putting flyers on my wall. I'm just sharing my love for all the things I love. And Scentsy's one of them. And it fits into my crazy, chaotic, beautiful mess of a life. And what you're searching for is to find people and why they need Scentsy. What you do, you don't need nobody. It's not for you to get a promotion. It's not for you to earn annual mentor. It's not for you to get a pay raise. It's not for you to get paid at title. If you are looking to just do a checklist and have 10 people join so you can do this, if you can have, like, you think people are just recruiting 14 people and earning annual mentor? No, they're recruiting like 30 people or more because you can't make anybody work. So once you quit looking at what recruiting is going to do for you, because I'm telling you, it's going to make your wildest dreams come true. It's going to take you from going, I don't know why you joined Scentsy, but figure it out and hold on to it. I went from I was getting ready to claim bankruptcy until we are turning 30 this year and we don't have a mortgage. Insert income disclosure. But you need to find why you want this, and then you need to go find how you can help that person. Look at each person and say, how would Scentsy fit in their life? It would fit in their life because they are already spending $100 a month on Scentsy and they're referring their friends. They need to do this for a discount. This person is completely relying on getting a bonus at work or her stimulus check. Like, she is seriously struggling. And I know that she uses Scentsy and so do her friends. This could be a financial blessing to her. This person is always saying how she never gets out. She never gets to do anything. This could be something for her to have for herself that isn't her kids or whatever else. Find out how Scentsy is going to help them. And then talk to them. Like I said, quit fearing no. Because if you are building relationships and looking at how you can bless somebody with this opportunity, and you take out what you think they're going to say, because that's none of your business, the worst thing they're going to say is no. Thank you. Because if you are authentically asking people that you know, because you built a relationship with them, why would they say anything rude to you? Now, if you go message 50 people after you get off this call tonight that you have never met, some spammy crap in their mailbox, then they're going to block you. They might say something rude to you, and then you're going to come to me and I'm going to delete you too. Don't do that. But if you are being authentic and somebody says something more than no to you, that's their problem and not yours. And that was a gift from God that they said no. Tell you that much. And I hope that this has helped somebody tonight. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them. But I'm sorry, I'm like all pregnant and out of breath here.
Oh, whatever. You
didn't mean to like totally preach, so there's that.
You did so good. There was so much love for you in the comments. But like one of the things that you said that really stood out to me was you very simply said you can't just recruit on Fridays, right? Like recruiting isn't an action in your business like selling or booking or anything like that. Like you don't just, maybe you have a sales day or a booking day or like a follow-up day, but recruiting is something you do every day because it's so much a part of who you are. And I love that you talked about that. Recruiting is, constantly asking. And when Andrea said you have to hear no, what she means is you have to ask a lot of people. If you're not asking someone, if people aren't telling you no, then the problem is you're not asking people, right? If you're not hearing no, then we have to go back a little bit further and say, how many conversations are we having? How much are we approaching this topic with customers? Are we even asking people? Every single time you close a party, you should ask your host if they want to join. You should offer your host the host exclusive kit. Every time you close your own party, you should offer that host exclusive kit to any person ever in the world and get them to join you. Anytime you have a customer who spends more than 70, 60, 70 bucks, you need to ask them to join. You need to talk to them about joining and show them how it could benefit them. And then when Andrea's, when you're talking about the lifestyle of recruiting, if you're hearing all this and you're like, okay, but like, where do I start? Like, how do I get started with this? Here's what you need to do. You need to ask yourself, how does Scentsy enhance my life? Okay. For so many people, it's so different. I saw some people in the chat say things like, this is something for me. If that's you, where you feel like Scentsy is like something for you and like it's your thing, then that needs to be the theme of your song. Every day, in every post, in every story, in every video, you need to find ways to weave that theme into your song every day. This is something for me. That's being authentic. That's sharing the opportunity. That's making Scentsy a lifestyle. Okay, that's attractive. You're going to attract people to you who want that. But then you also need to look at all the other ways that Scentsy enhances your life. Is it for you? Is it something for you? Is it Chick-fil-A? Right? You can pay for Chick-fil-A because of Scentsy. Is it you can get your nails done because of Scentsy? Is it you can make an extra mortgage payment because of Scentsy? Because guys, in case you didn't know, lots of people are doing that. Lots of people are making extra mortgage payments with Scentsy. Okay, your business can do that for you. So if your business is doing these things for you, or if it's just like, you know what, this makes me feel good, or this makes me take a shower because I have to do a live video for my customers, talk about it. Talk about that. Weave that into your stories, into your posts, into your videos. That is the lifestyle of recruiting. That is sharing how Scentsy enhances your life. That is very simply attracting people to you by showing them all that's good about Scentsy. And if you're not talking about it, you're not sharing it, if you're not showing people how it's good for you and how it benefits you and how it makes you happy or it makes you feel, well, then of course no one's going to ask you about it. Of course no one's going to say yes if you ask them about joining your team or starting their own business or finding out how this could help them or benefit them. So I loved it. I thought you did so good, Andrea.
One thing I wanted to say, if that's all right, I saw a question.
Please.
So I saw someone ask, like, how often do you follow up? How do you determine the time between each conversation? So that is going to be completely based on what's going on. So this is how complex any of my systems are. The more you need a system, but the more complicated you make it, the more unoriginal it is to you, you're not going to do it. So I have a notebook, and each person that I talk to about joining has a page in here. And like Fridays is my recruiting day. So I was kind of making fun of myself when I talked about that. But so it is a check mark in my book, but it's something I consistently do too. But like on Friday, I'll go through this book and see, you know, like what's up. And I leave notes on here. And I'm never just going to follow up with somebody and without like seeing what's going on first. Because it depends, like, why aren't they joining? Is it because of money? Well, I might follow up with them in 2 weeks when they get paid. Like if they're seriously wanting to join, then they're just waiting, or I'm going to ask them to host a party. But if they just want to jump right in and pay $99 for the kit, then I'll follow up with them around payday. If it's because they have something crazy going on in their life, I'm going to keep checking in on them. So maybe they had a death in the family, and so they need to get themselves together, because you don't want someone to join when they got stuff if they're not ready. You want there's a time for everybody to join. So maybe they had a death in the family. I'm still going to check in with them like every couple weeks and see how they're doing. These people, you have already had a conversation with these people. They already know that you sell Scentsy. If you are walking the walk, you're consistently sharing about your business. You're consistently showing up in your stories. They see that you still sell Scentsy. They know that Scentsy just didn't disappear. They didn't completely forget about that conversation. So when I say follow up with them, I don't just message them unless it's been a really long time. I don't just message them and say, hey, you ready to join? I'm like, hey, how are you? Go read the last 3 of their statuses and see what's going on. Right. Like, oh my gosh, I saw your kid earn this award. How cool is that? Like, go see what's going on with their life. I just had a customer the other day who I literally followed up with the day before, and she ordered a whole bunch of wax from me. Cool. She stocked up during the sale. And then the next day, I saw on Facebook her father died. Like, it was the next day. But could you imagine if I would have waited till the next day to follow up with her, and I didn't like look at her Facebook, and I would have messaged her, hey, you want to get some bars, 6 for $27? What if I would have done that on the day her dad died? Mm-hmm. You know, so you need to be like intuitive to figure out what's going on, because this is a relationship business and you're building relationships with people. So honestly, you can follow up with that person as many times as you want, but maybe not talk about Scentsy. Like, follow up with them. Like, they're going to remember that you sell Scentsy. And honestly, I think that helps people join more than continuously asking them to join. And I will continue to randomly follow up with those people until they tell me to go somewhere. And nobody's ever done that. I have a first gen director who I probably followed up with 8, 9, maybe 10 times. I actually told her, why don't you just join already? Like, I literally said that, like, why are you not just joining? Like, she was ordering online and paying shipping every time. It's like, why won't you just join? And she is now a director with directors under her. So, I mean, come on. It just depends.
That's such a good point too. And that, you know, I have someone that I asked to join for 5 years. 5 years. I asked her again and again and again. We approached a subject and she would get so close and be like, okay, I'm going to do it this weekend. And then didn't. And then she would say yes and then no. So I asked someone to join for 5 years. After 5 years, she finally joined. Well, wouldn't you know, she promoted to director. And guess who she recruited? Alicia Shadan, who is a star director with 2 directors under her, right? Do you see what happens? So if I had given up in that, you know, after a year or 6 months, or even just being told no once, right? If I had given up on that person, I wouldn't have that director and Alicia Shadan and her directors, right? And their entire organization in my business, like if I had given up. So that's such a great point too, is that just because someone tells you no, or like not right now, don't strike it off forever. And you can be playful about it. And you can just say things like, shouldn't you just join already? Or a lot of times I say things like, why are you still giving me your money? Like, I really will. I'll say that to my customers sometimes. Like, are you sure you want to keep giving me your money? Like, I really will. I'll say that, and it can be playful and fun. And sometimes they're like, yes, but the more you say that, sometimes they're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll stop giving you my money and I'll join and I'll make the money off myself. So that's such a good point. You can't quit. Don't give up. I'm not telling you to harass people. I'm not telling you to hound people. I'm not saying if someone says no, that you ask them the next day. You know what I mean? But I'm saying through relationship, don't ever count anyone out, and
Well,
and don't ever quit.
and like I said earlier, like how I followed up with 4 people that asked me.
Yes.
I'm not writing them off still. Even the ones that ignored me, I will message them again in a couple weeks and just say, hey, how are you? Because I don't want them to look at me as someone that just wants them to join. Like in a couple weeks, I will find something to message them about, or I'll comment on their their profile, just so they know there's no hard feelings there, even if they ghosted me. And here's a funny story. I was that person.
Yeah.
So my sponsor never asked me to join. I just secretly watched her, but I didn't understand how Scentsy worked. And I messaged her. This is really funny. I messaged her and I was like, how does this work being a Scentsy consultant? Because I wanted to do it because I love Scentsy, but I couldn't figure out in my head how I could sell enough wax bars to make money. I didn't understand the comp plan. I didn't understand that they had more than just wax. I literally thought I'd have to sell billions of bars of wax to make a paycheck. So she explained some things to me and she was super nice. She would follow up with me, but I just wasn't the time. So not only did I not join her, I joined another direct sales company because I had this girl keep hounding me on how her sponsor was making $500,000 a year and this and that. So I joined it and I did it for 6 months and I actually did decent at it. And I was doing it and I was like, this is weird. I don't like this. And I was doing good. And so I was like, oh, if I message her back, she's going to be like, told you so. And I didn't know what she would say. I really didn't know what she said, but she was never rude to me when I decided to choose to do something else. Like I just completely ghosted her, did something else. So I was like, I don't want her to think I'm full of crap. So what I did is I just went to her website and I joined. And then I sent her a screenshot that I joined. And then I was a brand new consultant, didn't have any idea what I was doing. And I had a successful business where I was making money doing this other thing. And I got into Scentsy and I got into the culture. And I was like, yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. And I literally called the other place and was like, shut my accounts off. They're like, but you have like customers. I was like, then roll them up to whoever was above me. I don't care. And I gave all that up, not knowing if this would even work. So there's that story, if that helps you not write people off.
Amazing. I love it so much. And it's so funny how you say like this is where I'm supposed to be, and I hope that so many of you on this call feel that way too about Scentsy. I hope you feel welcome here, and I hope you feel important and celebrated, and like you can be your real authentic self, and that you belong, because that's what we do. That's what we do. And it's amazing to me that like I joined this company 10 years ago and this is home for me. And I've changed a lot in 10 years. I'm a different person today from the person I was 10 years ago when I joined Scentsy. But I didn't know that all of this was home, right? And that all of this is where I was supposed to be. And so it's also amazing what can happen when you give something a chance and when you follow the formulas and do the work and stay committed. It's really amazing what you can build. So I hope that all of you are encouraged and inspired tonight. I think this has been really good. So thanks for Thanks for everything tonight, Andrea.